Rare, medium rare, or well done? What's your flavor profile? Hi, and welcome to the Law Simplified, the world's largest independent online law school platform. I'm your instructor, Shaveen Bandardanayaka. More often than not, students from around the world that either become my fast track or masterclass students, or those who have enrolled in the comprehensive online law school platform, tend to gravitate towards one of two avenues in terms of the practice of the law. They either look towards pursuing a career pathway as a criminal barrister, or they gravitate towards becoming a corporate lawyer, someone who specializes in certain very defined areas. In whichever context, however, due to the competition that's out there, it's very important that you ring fence and frame yourself into a niche that sets you apart from the rest. If you like the type of content that I make on this YouTube channel, do subscribe to the Law Simplified and leave a comment below of what other types of content you would find helpful. If you are a first, second, or third year law student, as well as a practitioner in the law, I would highly recommend having a look at the comprehensive online law school platform, complete with theory, tutorial, and workshop lessons based on the actual one-on-ones that I have conducted with first-class law students globally. Now, at the beginning of this video, I posed a question to you. Are you aware or do you know what your legal flavor profile is? What did I mean by this? On many occasions, having spoken to countless students over the past decade or so of teaching law and the practice as well, I've come to realize how at times students are somewhat baffled by what they encounter as they approach the profession itself. They complete their LLB or their Bachelor of Laws or a Juris Doctor, for instance, if you're pivoting from another career. They enter the workforce, they enter what could be considered as the legal practice, and they're stumped by the fact that they have a fairly generalized set of skills and knowledge that might not set them apart from everyone else. This is what I mean by developing and honing a very specific legal flavor profile. Quite simply, this is to look at your own profession, look at what you're doing, and ask yourself whether this is generic or whether there's a unique skill set that you bring to the table that provides you a level up or an edge over someone else. Now, how do we figure this out? It's much easier to do so in terms of the corporate aspect or the civil law aspect rather than from a criminal aspect. So I'm going to take that as an example for this video, but it's no different going into the criminal practice either. It's just that the bifurcation and the separation as well as the distinctions available to a criminal barrister is slightly less so than that of corporate law or the civil law for that matter. Step one in this journey is to determine that initial bifurcation. Are you intending to become a criminal barrister or do you want to specialize in corporate law? Once you have that out of the way, and in this instance we're going to pick corporate law or civil law, you need to then determine, based on the vast subject areas that are available in that, what really do you want to do? Some students, having gone through their LLB or Juris Doctor, may find negligence or the law of tort as being quite interesting. Others might find fascination in terms of immigration law or family law. Some might find it rewarding to go after contract drafting or something a bit more specialized like commercial law or admiralty. Whichever area essentially floats your boat, so to speak, that would be the next layer, the next profile that you add to that. Once you have done that, now is the time to specialize even further. Try to not just hone your academics but your skill set as well. This is where the practical components as well as secondary and tertiary levels of education that specialize in that area that you've chosen come into play. So for example, let's take something like property law, or even more specific, let's take something like real estate and property practice itself. It might be wise in this context to also upskill yourself in something that is unique and relevant to the practice itself. So this might be getting a license in terms of the conveyancing aspects altogether. It might be finishing a qualification in a separate level in terms of surveying. Whatever that enriches your understanding and the appealability, so to speak, of you as a practitioner to a client as well as a firm is how we distinguish ourselves from everyone else. And this is how we enrich that legal flavor profile, so to speak, as well. Once you have come to this stage, initially setting the foundation up as you want to pursue corporate or civil law, adding the next layer in specializing in real estate or property practice, and then fine-tuning that further by upskilling yourself in areas outside of the law in general, now is the time to start accumulating or clocking in the number of hours to make sure you get your experience in the relevant field by going to specialized firms or joining a specialized firm. If you wish to have your own practice, to make sure you are sticking to that path that you have chosen. And then after a little while, after some time in the practice, after you've gathered that necessary experience, then you might be able to take the next leap, which is to be an industry expert in that area. This would mean things like arbitration or mediation, for instance. To go above and beyond just being someone who is a practitioner in a particular area that might have the experience and a skill set that is unique, but also now to be a leading voice in that area as well. There are instances that students go on to even get into academics thereafter and to essentially be at the vanguard, so to speak, of that particular area of law. Try and find out more burgeoning areas that the competition is less to begin with so that you can climb up the ladder in a more expeditious manner. Right. The main takeaway from this video is in developing your legal flavor profile, try to be as niche as you can. And over time, not only would you enjoy the profession that you're in, but it will also reward you in the manner that you richly deserve. That being said, until the next time that we speak, have fun, stay safe, and as always, obey the law.